Yat'e, everyone. Greetings, welcome. She'e Denisa Livingston and Ishia Kitlichitni and Ashlan Chishit and Ambashichin. Ose didn't touchini dashache, donanish eje touchini dashanella. T'ayisident nasha e teragon wodiat diakut a dinishila. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Good to see you, those that are in person and also those that are online, and then also those that may be at home listening in, and those that maybe are not able to join us too. We recognize them, so welcome everybody. My name is Denisa Livingston. I am Diné, and our colonized name of our tribe is the Navajo. I am from New Mexico area, in the Four Corners area. I'm from the Red House People Clan. I'm born for the Chiricahua Apache people, and my grandparents are of the Zuni and the Hopi people. And I come from a place near Shiprock, a place behind the Shiprock Pinnacle in New Mexico. It's a famous volcanic rock. It's another rock called Mitten Rock. And so that is where I come from. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope you guys have made it well, your journeys here. And I'm your MC for the event. And I hope we have a good time because I have been known to be funny at times. So I could make you LOL, but don't be spitting on your neighbor, okay? You could giggle, okay? You could do this, a little bit shy about that. But we welcome you. Thank you, our brother Lonnie Provost, for giving the prayer, and also for the color guard, and also for the Battle Creek singers for coming and joining and opening us up with that. I got the chills just hearing the beat of the drum, because that's universal. That's a universal language when we come into spirituality, but also recognize that practice at the beginning of our conference here. Thank you to the Shakopee, Metawakitan Sioux community for hosting us, for the Secretary Treasurer Ashley Cornforth that has presented to us and welcoming us. Thank you to Dean Brian Boer for coming and addressing us several years now. Good to see you again. But I also just like to recognize the land that we are on, right? We come from this amazing Turtle Island, and as we take this time for Indigenous protocol, I like to acknowledge that this is a meaningful way as we connect with authentic relationships and with intentionality and also meaningful informed actions. It is an opening to the greater consciousness of our public of Native sovereignty and also cultural rights, honoring the truth of narratives and lived experiences of Indigenous peoples, and showing respect for our practices and spiritualities that are tied to this land as we continue to develop critical relationships and healing strategies for everyone. And so as we come together, let's pay our respect and honor the relatives, youth, and elders, both past and present, who have stewarded the land of Turtle Island throughout the generations. Let's take a moment to connect with the land that we're on. Let's acknowledge our original people and stewards of the land, the water, and the area that we're on. Thank you for taking this moment to be able to do that. It's important. Thank you for your contribution towards that. As I mentioned, welcome again. We are medicine to one another. So during this time, connecting and reconnecting is healing for all of us. So as you make reconnections or making new friends, make sure that you represent yourself as a resiliency hub. Yeah? Tell your neighbor, resiliency hub. That's something that we want to be, and that's why we're all here. Something that we work towards is collective stewardship. That's why we are gathered here today, to honor our ancestors and also to protect the future. In this conference, we also want to address the history and ongoing practices of colonization of Indigenous lands and nations, which brings us here together. The problems and the issues and the pain that our community members are going through, we are here for a reason. We're not here because everything is well and everything is perfect. We are here to be problem solvers. So take the initiative to be able to connect with one another. We want to be able to honor and promote Indigenous communities in frameworks and methodologies and practices. So as we're gathered in this space, remember that we are in a collective healing space. Everyone say hashtag, we are still here. So if you are on social media, use the hashtag, we are still here. Use the hashtag Native Conference 2025 and follow us on IG for all you Insta gangsters. Sorry, Instagrammers. If you're on Instagram, please post your pictures, tag us, and say we are still here. Just a few disclaimers. I want to be able to tell you, please eat and drink responsibly. So you could possibly overeat, okay? So we have delicious food for you all this conference, and please, get familiar with the foods, have a tasteful educational time, and also drink responsibly. And that means like the healing teas and the water, because water is life. To'e ina is what we say. And also, always with natives, we laugh. So laugh responsibly, because even when things aren't funny, we're still laughing, right? We're laughing through the pain. And so we know that when we laugh, we release endorphins, right? And this is a true story, because when we release endorphins and it's too much, we can get a headache. So be careful when you're around natives, because we're always laughing, all right? Having a good time. And then the last thing is, remember you're in a community here of true AI. Not artificial intelligence, American Indians. Yay! The true AI, that's what we are subject to here, okay? So reference, when you say AI, what do you mean by that, okay? Because it could also mean artificial intimacy. Okay, that's a different conference. So also, when you're in a community of natives as well, what we want to say is, let's go then. Let's do this, right? And what do we say? What's the short of let's go then? Skoden. So fist bump your neighbor and let it pop and say, Skoden. And then the other one is, let's do this. What do we say? Studis. Okay, so Skoden and Studis. All right, you guys have already learned some language there.